To any of you still alive, you do not fuck with the Peaky fucking blinders.
How to think like Arthur Shelby from Peaky Blinders. Now, when it comes to the show of Peaky Blinders, one of the most iconic characters is none other than Arthur fucking Shelby.
Who the fuck's next?
Now, even though he is no way near on the same level as Thomas, in terms of strategic thinking, that doesn't dispute the fact that there are still a few things that we can learn from him. With Arthur being the eldest brother of the Shelby family, it's no surprise to see at the beginning of season 1 that he seems to try and take the role of the leader.
By the way, which one am I talking to? Who's the boss?
Well, I'm the oldest.
Clearly.
But after proving that he is quite mentally unstable and also quite gullible, we clearly see that the role of the leader isn't for him. It's suited way more for Thomas. This is what leads Arthur's role in the family to change from leader to enforcer. The man Thomas calls to do the gang's dirty work. And it's needless to say, this is the perfect role to fit Arthur's personality.
You want to tell them, or should I? This place is under new management. By order of the Peaky Blinders.
This whole concept in itself leads us to the law that Arthur uses, which is to avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. What happens first always appears better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in a past of your own making. Establish your own name. Establish your own name and identity by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own way. Now, as I iterated before in season 1, we see how Arthur comes back from the war and tries to assume command of the Shelby family. He tries to act like he is this smart, efficient leader and claims to have a brain for business. But as time goes on, he starts to realise that in actual reality, he has no clue as to what's going on.
They say, is it you, Peaky Blinders, who stole the guns from the BSA? What guns, Tommy?
Arthur, after your beating, I thought you needed a break.
What bloody guns, Tommy?
This is what leads Arthur to doubt himself and pushes him to try to prove to everyone that he is capable of making smart strategic decisions.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's bloody do it.
It would make my heart beam, but I don't want to cause any discord between the brothers. So please, why don't you talk to Tommy first?
Now, I'm sick of taking orders from him. Tommy's not the only one in the family with an head for business.
Which unfortunately leads his gullible poor soul to getting ripped off by his own father. This event is what causes Arthur to reevaluate himself. And after a lucky suicide attempt, or unlucky, depending on the way you look at it, we start to see Arthur finally accept who he is. The fact that he isn't a good leader or masterful thinker, but he is one of the best enforcers that anyone can get. This is the point that aligns with the 40th law. There was no way Arthur was able to be on the same level as Tommy, whether that's in leadership, business, or strategy. But even when he did try to be like his younger brother, he ended up just being stuck behind Tommy's shadow. But once he accepted who he was and started to develop his own reputation, this is what liberated Arthur and made him become his own person. He wasn't seen as a clueless weak leader anymore. he was there on out seen as a strong, fiery enforcer for the Peaky Blinders, and that reputation was synonymous with fear. The point is that it may be great to have someone before you or someone around you that you idolise, but once you start to try to become that person in a way that's not true to yourself, it becomes very hard for you to outshine that person, especially if they are or were great at what they do. Power depends on appearing larger than other people, but when you are lost in a great person's shadow, you simply cannot project such a presence. Arthur would have never been able to step out of Tommy's shadow. Tommy is an absolute beast when it comes to strategy and leadership, as we've seen from previous breakdowns. But as soon as Arthur started to accept who he was and started to come out of Tommy's shadow, that's when he started to build his own kingdom and reputation, carving his own space and truly shining as his own individual. Never let yourself be seen following your predecessor or a greater person's path. If you do, you will never surpass them. You must physically demonstrate your difference by establishing your own style and symbolism that sets you apart. Become your own person. By all means, learn from greater people, but implement the teachings and lessons in your own style and way. A way that is unique to you, so that you are never ever cloaked by anybody else's shadow. Now, as I said before, when it comes down to doing the dirty work, Thomas likes to keep his hands clean. It is mainly Arthur that is tasked to go out in the field and get his hands dirty, and he does so with very strong effectiveness. Reason being is for his use of the strategy of overwhelm resistance with speed and suddenness. The blitzkrieg strategy. In a world which many people are indecisive and overly cautious, the use of speed will bring you untold power. Striking first, before your opponents have time to think or prepare, will make them emotionally unbalanced and prone to error. When you follow with a swift and sudden maneuver, you will induce even more panic and confusion. This strategy best works with the setup, a sort of lull, an unexpected action that catches your enemy off guard. When you strike, hit with unrelenting force. Acting with speed and decisiveness will garner you respect, awe, and irresistible momentum. Now, we first see Arthur use this strategy when Michael and Isaiah are disrespected in another pub.
What's happened, sir? Yeah, you've been scrappy.
Oh, some idiots at the Marquis of Lawn tried to stop me and Asar from drinking, but it's all right. We fought them off. After we had to stand our ground, and we did.
Marquis, eh? Where's your dad?
Without a second's hesitation, Arthur and John go ahead and burn down the whole pub to send a message and protect the reputation of the Peaky Blinders.
You didn't have to do that for me.
We didn't do it for you, Michael. We did it for the good name of the company. None of this happened, all right?
We see him use this strategy once again when he takes over the Eden Club from Sabini in season 2.
Sabini's day's done.
I'll protect you now.
Now shut up. Stop fucking whinging.
This strong, unrelenting force that Arthur comes crashing down with is what in itself acts as a huge deterrent for people to not fuck with the Peaky Blinders. As time goes on and the gang gets more legit, Tommy's hands have to appear more and more cleaner. But just the thought of him giving the order to Arthur to attack is petrifying, to say the least, as everybody knows that Arthur is an absolute psychopath.
What up in your nose?
You want to have that brother of yours put down?
Oh, I tried that. He bit the bit.
Which links to a previous strategy I talked about regarding deterring people from warring with you by creating a threatening presence. Now more than ever, we find ourselves dealing with people who are defensive and cautious, but by using the blitzkrieg strategy of acting with sudden and decisive action, you force the opposition to act before they're ready. We live in a world which speed is prized above almost all else, and acting faster than the other side has itself become the primary goal. But most often, people are merely in a hurry, acting and reacting frantically to events, all of which makes them prone to error and wasting time in the long run. In order to separate yourself from the pack, to harness speed that has a devastating force, you must be organised and strategic. In the Peaky Blinders case, we have Thomas, who plans the strategy, and Arthur, who executes it. And here's how you can do that. First, you prepare yourself before any action, scanning your enemy for weaknesses. Then you find a way to get your opponents to underestimate you, to simply lower their guard. Then once you strike unexpectedly, they will freeze up. And then once you hit again, it is from the side and out of nowhere. It is the unanticipated blow that makes the biggest impact. An attack can be anything. I mean, it could be with office politics, it can be taking a new product to the marketplace, it could be trying to win a championship in sport, or even the way you approach solving a complex problem. But regardless of the context, an unpredictable sudden action out of nowhere is what will cause your opponents to act irrationally, regardless of what field you're in. You breach their defences, you've gotten into their minds, pushing them to make mistakes, which will ultimately be the cause of their downfall. A way you can implement this strategy into negotiation is to seemingly take your time initially and appear weak, making the opposition drop their guard. But once their guard is dropped, you then all of a sudden out of nowhere hit them with a list of demands from a strong position. This swift suddenness and speed will knock them off balance and will increase the likelihood of them succumbing to your demands. Overall, the whole point is that whenever you commit to something, whether that's a job or task that you may not feel up to, plan accordingly. But once you have, execute that task with speed and efficiency, and strike hard with unrelentless pressure like Arthur does. The task at hand may seem monumental, but once you kickstart the task with such devastating ferocity, you start to build momentum which you can lean into to accomplish even the biggest of tasks with godlike efficiency. Even though Thomas is the brains behind the gang, there is no doubt that there is no other person in the Peaky Blinders that can strike harder at his problems, his enemies, and at life in general, that is more devastating and ferocious than Arthur fucking Shelby. And that's how to think like Arthur Shelby. By avoiding stepping into a great man's shoes and overcoming resistance with speed and suddenness. And that's what's going to grant you more power in your life and in the world of business.
To any of you still alive, you do not fuck with the Peaky fucking Blinders.
So if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment below on what your thoughts and feelings are about Arthur. Comment some of your favourite lessons and teachings from him, and let me know what character breakdown would you like to see next. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We do some of the best character breakdowns on the whole of YouTube, and we aim to produce at least one high quality animated video per week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. I'll see you soon.